So let's kick off with has the dollar become too weak? And I hear people saying, oh, this is terrible. Oh, the dollar, we're going to have all kinds of problems. They just don't look long enough, and they don't understand what's going on. And it can be difficult to filter through the headlines that make up it appear the dollar's dropped, and people say, oh my gosh, it's down 50% of its value, and it's getting close to collapse, as some doom and gloom people, they're always out there, would want you to believe. The truth is, since January 2025, the dollar is down about 10% against other major currencies. Now, keep in mind, it does fluctuate every day, every hour, and actually every minute. So don't worry about these things that people are saying. We're going to give you more reasons why not to worry about it.
And I'm going to go even one step further. Every second.
Every second,
I mean,
there we
it's
go.
going all the time. It's always that fluctuation. Again, this is normal to see fluctuation. It's not like this is crazy. We've never seen this before. But the headlines, they can be so scary. And it's important to understand when you look at the long term. I bet you a lot of people don't know this. The last 5 years, the dollar index is actually up about 7%.
No, that can't be. That's not what people think. They think it's down for forever.
Yeah.
Up,
and it's
up
like,
how
wow,
much?
7%.
7%.
Again, it's not booming, but realistically, you're not going to have that go up 50%.
It's not Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is another thing, down about 50% on Bitcoin almost.
You did actually go from peak to valley. Yeah, it was down more than 50% for
Wow.
Bitcoin. But again, dollar, generally currencies are going to be more stable. And obviously, you compare one currency against another, there's going to be more volatility there. But in a basket of currencies, unlikely to see major moves. And again, to still be up 7%, it's, again, not as big of a problem as the media is making out to be, in my opinion. Now, there are pros and cons to a weak dollar. If you're planning on traveling to Europe or some other foreign country, hotels and other items, well, those will cost you more when the dollar weakens, since our dollar buys less. Thankfully, I'm not really looking at traveling right now. I wasn't a big Europe guy when I went over there a couple of years ago. But also, too, the price of foreign cars and trucks, well, those will increase because, again, a dollar buys less. So that's good for us. We like General Motors here, so we like the U.S.-based companies.
And the other side of the coin is that people from other parts of the world can now come to the United States and spend money in our economy, since our currency now goes much further for them. Also, many other products of our products that we export will be less expensive. So exports should increase while our imports decrease. And what this does, it reduces our trade deficit, which has been a problem for years. Lower interest rates can cause our dollar to fall, but a strong economy can help counterbalance that decline. And Chase, heard people saying, oh, no one's coming here to the U.S. because how they feel about us. It's wintertime. It's not a big travel time. I think when we see May, June come around, I think you'll see a lot of people taking advantage of, like, wow, we can see Disneyland, we can see Disney World, all these things.
Yeah, and I am going to say I did look at 2025 for the full year.
Right.
It wasn't a good travel year for international travelers, and you can say what you want. Maybe it was politics. People don't like Trump, sure, whatever. I don't think that lasts forever, right? Yeah. Oh, people get all fired up, every time. Not every time. It's happened twice now, but when Trump is one, I'm leaving the country, and the people don't leave. I think it's the same thing. People are going to be very emotional maybe in year one, but as time progresses, you kind of care less and less. Kind of like the same thing with boycotts, right? When everybody's going to boycott Nike or boycott the NFL. Yeah. I think there's been other major boycotts. They last for like a month and they dissipate. I would not be surprised if international travel returns as people start kind of being so emotional about it.
And I think you're right. And I think what's going to happen is people say, I want to go see things in the United States. And okay, I don't like the president over there, but I want to see the Grand Canyon. I want to see
New York City.
New York City. I mean, I want to go to Hollywood. I mean, all these different things that we have. We're a great destination to travel to. I think you're right that eventually people say, okay, again, I don't like the president, but I want to see this before I die.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of to that point, will there be a default on the dollar? I mean, the chances of that happening are just extremely low for many reasons. The U.S. dollar is still the dominant global reserve currency, which adds strength to the dollar. Now, that has been, I'm going to say, lightning, again, a little bit. We have seen the decline in the dollar, but again, it hasn't fallen off a cliff. And it is also understood that, yes, we do have high debt, but also, if needed, the U.S. can print dollars to pay down that debt. Now, that's a whole different debate if that makes sense or not, and is it inflationary? And, a lot of kind of conversation can be held around that. But we do have the taxing authority of the U.S. government with, U.S. business. Mm-hmm. You have U.S. consumers, which are very healthy. So, again, you have an economy that is very healthy that can, right or wrong, be taxed to help pay for that debt.
And when you think about it, because when I was looking at this, what would happen if the U.S. was not the global reserve currency? Who's going to step in? You know, I mean, we have the strongest economy. We have the best taxing power. I mean, it'd be a disaster for the entire world if that were to happen.
You can't trust China. You can't trust,
Let's do Russia.
Europe, I would say.
Europe.
I mean, the euro is
I think it was in the 90s. I think her name was Heidi Flight or something. She was a model. And she says, "Oh, I'm selling all my dollars and getting euros." That was a disastrous thing that happened. And that's when the euro was much stronger than the dollar. Well, that again didn't last very long. So, but looking forward in 2026, there's a good chance, a very good chance, that the dollar will stabilize as our economy improves. Now, keep this in mind: foreign top trading partners have pledged to invest $5 trillion in the United States. With that large investment, more travel to the U.S., and people buying more U.S. products such as cars that are now a better deal due to tariffs, and a weaker dollar, come the end of the year, we could actually see a firmer dollar and a booming economy, which will push up the dollar.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll call it booming, but I think we'll still see a good economy. And I think I mean, booming is so hard to get to, right? You're talking about 5% GDP growth. I don't see that happening. But
I think
if you have a good economy around 3%.
Yeah, I think we could have that. I mean, there's so many things going on in 2026. I mean, I think we could have a booming economy. Maybe Trump is talking to me in my ear. I don't know, but I'm
maybe. I think I'm optimistic, but less optimistic.
Okay.
I'm still looking for. I'm not looking for a decline. I'm not looking obviously for any recessionary signals. I still think we'll see somewhere around maybe 3% growth. I'd be very happy. I mean, 3% growth in GDP that's a good economy.
I don't know. I'm gonna say November, December. You can say, "Gosh, Brent, you were right. It was a boom economy."
I guess we'll find out.
Will
but
see.
The thing that you look at, if we have that boom, or even if we have a good economy and that dollar does stabilize, this could point to further declines in gold and silver. That even with the massive pullbacks that we've seen, particularly in silver, they are still near all-time highs. I mean, they are still. It's kind of funny I say expensive, but there's no real way to value gold and silver. You can't value the earnings, value the cash flow. Again, we don't buy precious metals because there's no way to value it. It's only worth what the next person will pay for it. But again, if there is that stability, there's the economy is looking better, the dollar stabilizes. You know, that's the whole concept, right? It's called the debasement trade, where people are going to stop using the dollar. I think that's an emotional trade, and I think that emotional trade will run out eventually, which is why don't get used to having gold go up 70% and silver going up 200% in a year. That's not likely, I think, to repeat itself in 2026. I would not be surprised if gold and silver actually end negative on the year in 2026.
I would not surprise me either. And I don't know if you know, but how much, because I don't follow silver. I think it was down quite a bit. Do you have that number or no?
Yeah, I mean, I can find it real quick. I have like CNBC pulled up, so it always gives me that, like just today or since the peak.
Oh, since the peak. I mean, because everybody's so excited. What was the peak? Was what, 125?
Looks like it currently is around 77.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Didn't it peak?
52 week. The high was 121.
121. So so 121 to 70. That's
77.
77. Yeah. Okay, we'll say 80. That's still what, a 33% drop.
I mean, the crazy thing is the 3-month return on silver still 62%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nuts how much that went up. So again, don't be surprised if you see something similar that we've seen with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, things are changing. So be careful if you speculate on silver, gold, and Bitcoin.